As the bishop of the Mountain Sky Conference, I bring you greetings. It's important that we gather on World AIDS Day to remember. We are a people who've walked through the wilderness of disease and uncertainty, of loss and grief. In the years since HIV/AIDS had first impacted our world, we've had our hearts broken in more ways than we can count. We've companioned loved ones through their final days, holding them, crying with them, and tending to their needs with great love and tenderness. And so even though great strides have been made in battling this disease, there are times when we still need to gather to remember, to gather strength, and work on. So we come to remember. We remember those early days of the epidemic when it felt like all we were doing was going to funeral after funeral, remembering the loved ones and friends whose lives were cut short too soon, whose names are inscribed on our hearts. We remember the strength of a community that found its voice and power to not only care for the dying, but fight for the living. We remember that in spite of the fear, there were those who acted up and spoke out to get the attention of a nation that preferred to ignore the disease. And we remember courageous lives moving through their final days with dignity. We come to renew ourselves, to sit together, and to remember that life and death and new life are continuous. This cycle is not only found in the natural world, but also in the spiritual world. So we come with sighs that are too deep for words into this observance, knowing that here our weary souls may find rest. We come to gather again as community that has learned this truth, that we can do more good in the world together than we can by ourselves. Through this remembering and renewal, we find the strength, power, and inspiration to recommit ourselves to the battle against HIV/AIDS. For there are still so many who suffer because of fear and bigotry, because of poverty and politics. Too many face this illness alone without the support of loved ones, without education, without needed medications. We come together to stand in solidarity with those around the world who are in need of the work of our hands and the labor of our hearts. We remember this day the child in South Africa, the young person in Brazil, the woman in Southeast Asia, the man in Denver. For them, for all who have passed, for those who are living with HIV/AIDS, we know that we must continue to make education and healthcare accessible and affordable to all, to work for a world of zero discrimination, zero new transmissions, zero AIDS-related deaths, and to eradicate the stigma of AIDS. So gather here, celebrate the heroes and sheroes among us, knowing that there are countless and nameless others who have lived lives of service and compassion without reservation. May we too stand tall, stand strong, stand proud, that we may allow our light and love to shine in the darkest places, rekindling connection and hope. In this way, may healing and wholeness spill from our hearts to those in need. I pray that our holy friend and comforter will give us the assurance that our prayers are heard, even those that are unspoken, and are held within a quiet place in all our hearts. God bless you in this time together. Amen.